Hello, 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 wisdom and truth. Welcome to the page. My name is Living in the spiritual world, in a sense, but I'm here. I want to have a conversation today, just a conversation. That's why this one is titled The Narrow Road. What do you mean, narrow road? So, I say conversation because I want you to think of something, okay? Now, can we agree that no one chose to come here or to be born? Can we also agree that your parents didn't even choose to have you, per se, right? So you had no one had no control over where you went, who you became, what your name is, any of that, right? As far as like being the baby in the womb or a woman getting pregnant, right? So from the point of birth, then you get the name, stuff like that. But before birth, right? Point is this. Let's say, whatever you are, whoever you are today, whatever religion you are, whatever race, whatever nationality, whatever ethnic group, male or female, whoever you are today, okay? Who you are had no control over being who you are in the respect of you didn't bring yourself into this world. What I want you to think about is, so let's say you were born in New York City, a black man, and your family was Muslim. Right? So let's now say that's not what happened, right? And all of a sudden, you were born in China or Israel or Russia or South America or Africa or whatever. Like, you had no control over who you are. So if you were to be born somewhere else, who would you be today? Right? If you were born into a family that was Muslim, would you be Muslim even though you're Christian right now? Right? Or if you're Christian, would you be into the Chinese traditional religion because you're from China? Right? Let's say your life was just different. That the conversation is this. You didn't have control over who you are. Right? You didn't have control over what family you were coming in, who your mother was going to be, who your dad was going to be. You didn't have no control over that. Right? And when you think about that, think about if you are Christian, right? And you're just straight, like, because the problem with religion, and even though Christianity is not supposed to be a religion, okay, that's number one. It's supposed to be non-denominational, right? But it's still a religion, okay? Or whatever religion. If you're a Muslim or you're a Hindu or you're a Buddhist, right? And you go at the other religions like, yo, it's my God versus your God. Does that make sense? Right? Even if you're in your religion, right? Does that make sense? Right? How like what would be the purpose, the end game to life if life was how most religions perceive it to be, in the respect of, you have to be Muslim, everyone has to be Christian, everyone has to be Catholic, everyone has to be Hindu, everyone has to be Buddhist, right? Does that sound like a creator of everybody, a creator of everything, the creator of all? Right? Because ultimately he created us all. If you are a Christian, he created us all. If you are a Muslim, you go off the Old Testament too, the Torah. We are all equal. right? The Old Testament does talk about chosen people and, giants and stuff like that. But the basis of most of these religions in the world, most of the major religions, is peace, love, and freedom, right? If it's supposed to be about love, peace, and freedom, why does that not include everyone? Right? How could it single out any group? If in the Torah, in the Old Testament, it tells you a story of when the people were all one language, one mind, one body, moving together as one, going to fight the gods of this world. Realizing probably with real eyes the real lies. Okay? That phrase right there is from Kingdom of Truth. But think about that. You should think about that in your life. You had no control over who you became or who you are. You had no control over your parents and choosing them. You just came into the world and you were put into a situation. What if you were put in a different situation? And that's how you got to look at everything. And you know what? I used to be, I wouldn't really consider myself a Christian at any point in my life. But I did go to churches and stuff. I visit places. I used to always go to this church gathering. But every time someone called me a Christian, I kind of was it wasn't, I don't want a title, right? And more importantly, when you start researching the name Christian is not in the Bible, okay? And if it is, it's in Acts, I think, twice. Christ, Jesus, the one that, if you define Christianity, it says people that follow the person and the teachings of Jesus Christ, right? So they follow him and follow his teaching, right? And his teaching says, love your enemy. So this is the point I'm trying to make here, right? If you're supposed to love your enemy, how can you knock a Muslim, or how can you knock any other person that's not like you? Right? You need to look deeper into history and understand who we are as people. We're some wicked people. You were wicked. You may not be wicked in everything, but there's a wicked part. Okay? And ultimately, our flesh is wicked because it only wants fleshly desires. Wants nothing to do with a spiritual world because it doesn't exist there. It can't go there. It has to stay here. Right? But so, that's the premise of the whole conversation in a sense. So hopefully you're listening. I make these videos because the Father tells me to. The last few days, I've been really meditating on and talking to the Father on in a sense of what message am I bringing of truth? Right? Because I watch Wisdom and Truth videos, right? Look him up, Wisdom and Truth, if you haven't watched them. And I see it. I see that truth, right? And I look at, a few other people's videos, even Kingdom of Truth. These are the two main people I watch. In Kingdom of Truth, and I hear the words coming out of his mouth that I hear in my head, right? That I talk to other people. The truth, everyone has a message, right? So if you watch these two guys, you'll see the difference in the message, right? But it's the same message. The same message, just like my message. Same message, but just different avenues, right? Many branches of the tree of truth, many branches, all one root share, one world share, right? So we the vision is definitely of the enemy. When it comes to who's the God in the Old Testament, to who the Father is that the Christ is talking about, there's a difference, right? Christ is talking about love your enemy, right? He's taking the 10 Commandments and taking it a step further. He's taking it into the mental, right? That's exactly it too, right? The 10 Commandments is the physical, don't kill, right? More importantly, it just said, thou shalt not kill. It didn't just say thou shalt not kill man. It meant thou shalt not kill life. Right? And then, thou shalt not adulterer, right? Or covet thy neighbor's wife, or covet thy neighbor's things. That means don't get jealous and envious over what another person has. That has nothing to do with you. And if you're a Bible believer in the New Testament, if you're a Christian, Jesus said that. Don't worry about what someone else has. That's their own thing. With like everyone's on their own personal journey, their own way to the Father, and that's what life is truly about. Okay, and like I said in a recent video, we were all put here for a reason. Okay, do you think that reason is the work? For money, I say, is that reason to get your education, where you're getting degrees and stuff? And what? Because the most experience you get in any field of anything is by hands-on experience. Like, you act like America was built on educated scholars from Harvard. It wasn't. Was our financial system? Was our laws and the way they enslaved us? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's ironic that most of the Ivy League colleges started out as Bible colleges. And then the evil came in and felt the profit. Right? Listen, I live life loving everyone. I knock no one for what they believe. Believe, do you. Because I'm not here to bring you the truth. I'm here to bring you a message. I can't bring you the truth. Jesus said that only the Father can bring you to the Father. Only the Father can bring his sheep to the voices that are calling. Only the Father. All right? So some people are going to come across this video. Hopefully you come across this video and you're a hater. Take this video as when you get to the end and you truly see the Father and you're like, dude, I didn't even know. How was I supposed to know this? Well, you went across that video, wisdom and truth. You heard him say it, but you'd rather be a hater and throw some negative comments in. Not saying anybody sent me negative comments. I ain't saying that at all. I'm just saying in general. Right? Sometimes we got to look at our lives. Like, how can you judge another person for being who they are when you don't want to be judged for being who you are? Right? Our whole lives, our society dictates it and everything that reflects it. That we live in a world that we only care what other people think. No, that's not true. You're tripping if you don't believe that. Okay? Have you been alive long enough to see Pokemon cards? Have you been alive long enough to see silly bands, spinners, the fidget spinners? They're on every shelf now, but before they're all limited, right? In certain stores, limited. You only could get 2, right? That's what I'm saying. All of a sudden, the popular view matters. Oh, the silly band's the new thing, and everyone goes out and buys silly bands. That silly band that made $1 billion. Oh, it doesn't stop there, right? I was just watching a commercial, I think today, about Hellboy, right? A new Hellboy coming out, and a new Pet Sematary. So how stupid are we as people that we go to the same movie over and over and over again? Okay, sure, it's different actors. Sure, the storyline might be a little twisted, right? It's like, how many Spider-Mans do we got? How many different versions of Spider-Man? Did he get bit by the spider or something else happened? Like, that's how crazy we are in a sense. That's how like misled we are. We're thinking that life is just a place that we're into to get all we can before we die, even though it can't come with us. Shut me off if I'm telling lies right now. Eliminate me from history in your search bar if I'm lying right now. Right? Is it okay that a person goes to the hospital to get an emergency thing done and they say you don't have insurance and we can't serve you? Like, what kind of world do we live in? Are we trying to better mankind for everyone's sake? Or are we just playing a game of life, rolling dice, taking chances? Are we playing the game of Monopoly? Who can get it? Or we're going to play the game of supply and demand when they make the demand and they shorten the supply so they can charge you more money. It's like being the type of person that's ready to go out on Black Friday. What are you truly going out for on that Black Friday? Are you going for the deal? Because it's the old version of technology. They're just clearing their shelves. It's a clearance sale. And you know what? It's gotten so corrupted nowadays that they lower the prices right before Black Friday, so they think that you're getting a better deal, or they hire the prices, so to speak, so that you think you're getting a better deal on old stuff. And there's people literally out there running people over and stuff. For what? That's how blinded we are. And little do you know, whatever you believe, if you believe in the mark of the beast and this is going to come and the forehead and the right hand, let me tell you something. We already live in that system. We already live in it every day of our lives. We can't buy or sell. Okay? We can't just go become a nomad. Right? It's going to cost you money to fly somewhere. You can't just build a boat and sail out. Right? The world is not a place for a person that just wants to flow with God and walk with God in an aspect, right? And it's built up in a way we could do that, but it's built up in a way that no, we're not. No, we don't think it's possible. No, that's not how things are. Wow, that's insane. Right? Because you're right. That isn't how things are. But we can make it that way. Right? We live in this world of good and freaking evil. And if you think by any slight misdirection that this is how it's supposed to be, you're tripping out. If you think you're supposed to be higher than someone else, then this message ain't for you. Because that's not what the Father is about. That is what the God of the Bible is about. That Old Testament God that tells his people to go in there and kill people, that's what he's about. He's about an eye for an eye. He's about, you kill my brother, I'm going to kill your brother. But that's not what Jesus said. Right? There was many times, and look at it like this. There was many times Jesus was asked trick questions on, oh, hey, should we pay taxes? That was a trick question. That was a question. If he answered no, he would be disrespecting the government, the rulers of this world in a sense. And if he said yes, he would be disrespecting his Father. So what did he do? He broke it down. Hey, whose face is on that coin? Oh, that's Caesar. Give Caesar's what is Caesar's and give the Father's what is his. And what's the Father's? The Father's is life. You may not believe it or not, but Satan made these flesh bodies, these fingers, these toes. But the Father made them move. The Father is this motion. Right? A person could be paralyzed and not be able to move anything. But in their mind, they could be running laps and dreams. Because that's what the Father gives you. The Father gives you that life. And that life is embedded within you. Just like there's no book that can bring you to the truth. There's no book that can bring you to the truth. An open mind can bring you to the truth. An open mind. Because if you have a closed mind and you only read the Bible, the 66 books, or hey, in the other version of religion of the Bible, there's 70-something books. So either way you look at it, if you're reading that book, are you following the Christ that is telling you to follow? Or are you going off of what Moses said or did? Or what Jacob said or did? Or anybody else in the Bible that said or did? See, in the Old Testament, the Father was there, and the Father was in the prophets. The Father was in the people didn't listen to. The Father was in Samuel, when Samuel was trying to guide the people into the walk of the Father. But no, they wanted a king like the rest of the world. Think about that. Right? When Jesus rode with his disciples in the first sense, they thought now is the time, the Messiah's here, and we're about to take over Rome. So James and John were fighting over who's going to be on the right side or the left side of Jesus, and went to Jesus' mom, or went to their mom that went to her sister to talk to Jesus to see if they could get one of them on the right or the left. But they were thinking about hierarchy. They were thinking about better standing over the Rome. over the Romans. They were thinking about being higher than something else. That's the problem with every religion in this world. Jesus washed his disciples' feet as a servant to prove who the Father is. The Father is a love, where the God of this world is hate and envy and death. The Father is peace. The Father is fellowship. The Father is long suffering, because if he wasn't, none of us would be here or even have this opportunity to be here. Especially if it was only by chance. But see, you know what the message I'm here to bring? I'm here to bring a message that you need to know who you are. What do I mean by that? You need to know how special you are. You need to know you came from a perfect source, and you're perfect. It's just that you're in a world that has so many obstacles, it makes you feel like you're broken and need to be fixed. And why does the world do that to you? Because the world is so scared of you. Satan is scared of you. Right? Where churches make you believe that Jesus is coming back to fight Satan, you have to fight Satan yourself. Jesus said, get your cross and bear it. You got to walk the walk too. You can't just say, oh, Lord and Savior, I bring you into my life. You're my king. Thank you. And now you're saved. That makes no sense. And now you're going to go run around judging other people. Oh, you're not doing this right. You're not doing that. When you're not listening to your teacher, because he said, before you even go to your brother to tell him to take the piece of wood out of his eye, take that big ass plank out of yours first. He even went to the bigger exaggeration. Hey, that speck that's in your brother's eye, no, you got that big log in your eye. Take that out first, and then maybe you could go and tell your brother something. And quite honestly, you're never going to tell him something out of being better than him. Because once you come to a Christ understanding, then you're better than no one. And no one's better than you, because we're on a level playing field. One body, one mind. So what message am I bringing? You're a superhero that's been dumbed down with all this distractive kryptonite that it handicaps you. And the crazy thing is, people and kids that are dying of cancer and all types of other things has a bigger spirit than you on life. And they know they're dying. It's like we're all dying. There's not one of us promised tomorrow. I make these videos in that respect also. Because I might not be here tomorrow. And all these people that think I'm crazy about the things I be talking about, hey, maybe they'll watch the video. When my kids watch it, and what did dad believe in? This is what I believe in. I believe the Father that created everything made us all equal. I believe that Satan is the God of this world, and he wrote this Bible, at least the first part of it. Okay, and he wrote the rest of it too. He wrote the New Testament too. The problem is that the New Testament had power in it. Jesus' words, the Christ, his words are power. He is the word of the Father. You know what? They didn't know what to do with it. They didn't even understand what it meant. That's why Jesus talked in parables. Where the harvest he was talking about when he's talking about the wheat and the tares. And he got asked, hey, his servants asked him, do we pull up the weeds now? No, you wait. Wait till it gets to a mature level so we know who's who. Because right now they're all mixed in. We might have a couple lukewarm people out there that think they can play both sides of the field. We have some people that are being led astray by the wickedness, but let's give them a chance to come and fully blossom. Like, that's truth. How can I believe in a God that wants to kill people? How can I believe in a God that's an eye for an eye? So there's no forgiveness in that. Right? And how and this is the crazy thing. This is the craziest thing. This is probably like, mark this shit down, mark it out in the video, do something, put it as your like screenshot or a voice audio screenshot so you can hear this. Because this is serious. How can we Like, how can we know the difference? And as Jesus said, you know the difference of people by their fruit. Right? And you know the gods by their fruit also. Right? The God of this world is eye for an eye. The God of this world is a wrathful God. The God of this world in essence thinks our life is just a game. It treats us just like society treats us. Every regular person is just a number. We're all expendable. We're all replaceable. Right? Diseases are created by mankind. Right? Those same scientists and stuff that say they're out to better mankind. Right? The truth is the narrow road. Right? And the truth will set you free personally. The truth to yourself, like your truth. Admit who you are, all your wrongs to yourself. You ain't got to go to no church and go into the booth and say, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. None of that. Go right into your dome, right into the only place that you and the Father could be alone, because the devil can't even come there. The devil can only influence your thoughts. Only influence. He can't control your thoughts. He can only influence your thoughts. How does he do that? With jealousy, envy. These are influential things with your thoughts. Anger, hatred, these are influential things. You can make an irrational decision based upon your emotion. Right? You get in an argument, you walk away, everybody's all pissed off. Next thing you know, God forbid, one of the people get in a car accident. Now who's regretting what? So is it worth it to be negative? Or is it better just to piece it up? Right? Do you really want to walk around watching your back? Or do you want to walk around knowing that just because you're showing that love, the love's coming back at you? Right? A good movie to watch is 187. Go watch that movie. And then you'll see the truth in that, because everything has truth. Every single movie, I can prove the truth in it. I can show you exactly what the Father's saying to you, and I can show you exactly what society is saying to you. Right? Most of the things are based on like movies. Like, I didn't believe it back in the day. Oh, Big Brother, blah, blah, blah. They're brainwashing us. I didn't believe that. But they got movies to say that they are doing it, like the first Batman with the Riddler. When Jim Carrey played the Riddler. What was the whole movie based upon? Of putting little antenna things on top of TVs that control your mind. Right? And I'll tell you like this. The movie was made for evil intentions, but the Father said he's always going to make that evil turn into good. So it's trying to open your head, open your mind up to reality. Because the reality is, no matter what you believe, let me know, what is it for everyone else then? Are we going to be like the Jews, that true Jews, that think that everyone else that's not a Jew is just a dog? Because that's what Gentile means. When you read that Gentile word in the Bible, that means it's just dogs, wild dogs. And that's how a true Jewish person looks at us. They think their religion is top religion. But even as Jesus said in the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44, to the rabbis and to the Jewish people, your father is Satan. Oh, Jesus was Jewish too. Right? All of our flesh is of our stepdaddy Satan. Because he made these flesh. He made this flesh that couldn't move when he made it. But the Father inserted life. Right? I was going to do a video today, like researching all types of religions and stuff, so I could bring like you the big picture. And just, I'm going to do a different video on that. But just to bring it to you, I was doing something on Taoism. Do you know Taoism has a creation story similar to there being the ignorant creator and the father of all? That's crazy. Like, all religions have a common denominator. But you just don't see it. You don't see that religion, that common denominator, that truth got expanded, right? You act like you're not a person that exaggerates a story. We all exaggerate. Oh, that car accident. Oh my God, it was a big boom. Flames were everywhere. It was a little thing, a little smoke. Come on. Seriously? Or how people overreact to things, right? Almost like you're driving down a highway, right? You're doing like 80, 85. Don't act like you don't speed. Doing like 80, 85. Speed limit is like 65. You pass the cop. Oh man, you make sure your seatbelt's on, right? You already know you messed up. And then there's some people out there that when they get pulled over, they just can't admit it that they're wrong. And that's what causes the whole incident. That's what causes the whole situation. That makes things go out of control. Why? Pride? Or is it like when we were kids and your parents said, did you do that? And you're like, no, and you got chocolate chip cookies all over your face. I didn't eat it, but evidence is everywhere. We're brought up like this. We're brought to think like this. We're brought up to think that we have to go to the hospital to get cured when the Father said he's the healer. Right? I'm bringing these points up on what the Father said and what the world kind of says because that's the difference. Christ said you have to be in the world, but not of it, not of its systems, not of its corruptibility, because the Father is incorruptible. The truth will always win. The good will always trump evil. The problem in our society, the problem in our world is we live in a duality, right? And the evil of this world knows they can control the world through the evil. Having people feel like, yeah, I want to be rich and have a whole bunch of workers, slaves under me. I want to have a whole bunch of people under me that's living paycheck to paycheck and not even surviving in the real world. Right? And then you got the good that could trump that. You got the good where there, maybe like 10, 15 years ago, there was people that used to put quarters into the parking meters in certain areas or certain cities, and then the cops would arrest them because they're paying somebody else's parking meter and the cops don't have the chance to give them a ticket. Does that make sense? You're locking up someone that's paying the meters because you can't give a person a $50 ticket or whatever, how much it could be. Ticket. That's our society. And we're all like this. It's just that wasn't your thing. You probably be like, oh, that's cool, do it. But then you could have been the person like, that's wrong. How do you know? And then that gets to my next point. You know how the devil is controlling this, how him and his boys is controlling this, the powers and principalities of this world is controlling this, because now they got us thinking we're doing good, but in essence, it's evil. What do I mean by that? Well, let me think of a good example. Okay. So if religion, right, if Christians, Catholics, Muslims, right, everyone's in the Crusades, right, fighting over Jerusalem, who was right? They all thought they were right. And what were they doing? Killing each other because they felt as though they were right. But the Father of all says, thou shalt not kill. The God of this world says, thou shalt not kill. But we're killing. We're killing. That's the first contradiction in all. Why would the one that gave life need life? You need to get out of the prison mind state, the crown of thorn mind state, and break that up. Free your mind to understand that you live forever. That's my message to bring to the world, or bring to whoever watches the video, to bring to my kids, to bring to my friends, to bring to people that just crossed this page. You are somebody. You're not here by accident. You have a purpose. And it's more like a mission. Overcome and subdue this evil. It's almost like the same idealism as do unto others as you want to do unto you. Your life isn't guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed to have that great job you may have now tomorrow. That homeless person that you may pass on the street, you might be that person one day. And yeah, you know what? There's some evil people out there. There's people that take advantage of so much. And there might be a homeless guy in New York City right now that lives in a mansion or a penthouse. And he's out there panhandling every day. But you know what? That's not your problem. That's his problem. That's something that he's going to have to live with. And being that you were taken advantage of, that makes it even worse for him, because you had a sound heart and a good heart in wanting to give that. It's just like, if you don't have the mentality to give it, like I said before, I'm pretty sure I said in another video. And if you're a Christian, if you believe in the Bible, right, if you believe in the New Testament, Jesus said this, right? He said, don't let your right hand know what your left hand's doing. Right? Is that almost impossible? Like, I'm moving my right hand now. My left hand knows that shit's going down. But that's not what he's saying. That's because you're supposed to do it naturally. Right? No matter what the right or left is saying, you should just be flowing centered. No matter what doubts you may have or what positivity you may be having, you just got to go in one direction to the positive. What do I mean by that? Just walk by the homeless guy and just smack him with some money. Not smack him literally, but just give him some money. Give him your change in your pocket. Give him a couple dollars. That's what it means. But don't give it to him if you're like, I don't really want to. Don't do that. Because then you might as well keep it and keep it moving. And if you're a New Testament Bible believing person, that's what Acts was about with Ananias and Sapphira. They didn't have to say what they were going to give to the apostles, but they wanted the woo, you're the best. But that's not what Christ was preaching. Christ was preaching this. Yeah, hey, listen, you got to respect your stepdaddy. In an aspect of, you still got to bring love to the world. You're not here to battle anything, right? The Father doesn't need you to defend him. The Father needs you to get you right. Realize who you are. Because, like, listen, I'm strongly believing we were sent here on a mission. A mission. Okay, me and you, sent here on a mission. Especially if you got those ears to hear and those eyes to see, you were sent here on a mission. If you're not just a follower trying to follow the new trend, or going with the popular crowd, or making other people rich, like how silly is that of us? We can talk, oh, Donald Trump's an asshole, but you know what? People make him rich. Oh, this one, I don't like his music, but people make him rich. Half of the music in the world today ain't even talking about nothing. Still talking about going to clubs, doing drugs, sexing it up. Come on. Like, is that life? Because that's going to die. That's going to get boring. That's going to fade. You're going to get older. Time is going to catch up with you. Like, that can't last forever. So what must be your primary concern? Your primary concern, like my primary concern in life, is life. My biggest fear is not knowing who I am when I die. And now, knowing what I know now, I'm not trying to go that route. I'm not trying to be sent back. Nothing. I'm trying to do whatever the Father tells me to do and walk in that direction, no matter who has opposition to the direction that I'm moving. As long as I'm following his word, loving him first, searching him diligently, seeking him first, because then once I seek him, everything else will be added on to me. And hopefully through my life, if I live long enough, you see it to be true. I'm not here to live a lavish life. I don't even want to live a lavish life. If I could find a village to go move into, I would definitely move all day. But then I probably wouldn't. Why? Because it's almost like if tribulation, if the rapture truly was true, and people would be called up, I want to stay. I'm ready for the fight. I want to help those that may not get it yet. My biggest concern has been my whole life is I care more about other people than my own self. And I've been told that my whole life. My mom, you will stop worrying about other people. At jobs, you just got fired because you're over there speaking up for other people. Other people, we're each other's help. We're each other's life. We're each other's love. And the only way you can be each other's love is by realizing that self stuff in you first. You're your own love. You're your own happiness. You cause your sadness. That person didn't cause you to cry. You caused yourself to cry. Oh, but he hurt my feelings. She hurt my feelings. You're right. Get the key to that. Your feelings. How do you know you didn't hurt their feelings? Right? It's almost like the old argument with men and women, right? The toilet seat up or the toilet seat down. Right? And we're supposed to show respect by putting the toilet seat back down, but maybe we might have forgot. So is that going to cause an argument that we're going to be like divorced over? Is that I'm going to have to sleep on the couch type stuff? Like, come on. But that really happens. That really happens. People fight over the toothpaste cap not being on or off. People fight in OCD situations. Like people fight over the significant other going to a holiday party at their job by themselves. Like that don't even make sense. But that's the kind of world we live in where it's said, oh, guys and girls can't be friends. Nowadays, this is a little different. There's a lot of girl-guy friendships going on. Nowadays, it's a little different. But in a romantic relationship, there's still jealousy. What do you got to be jealous of unless you feel as though you're not good enough for your mate? Oh, you know what? They might leave me for somebody else because I'm not good enough. But that's not even your fault. F them. Right? You got to be like-minded. You got to be not unequally yoked. That means you got to be equally yoked. That means you're moving in the right direction, believing in the same things. You got the same goals, right? My goals in life is Father and Father only. Everything else is added to me after that. Father first and Father only. Right? Jesus came here to free us. He didn't come here to necessarily die for our sins. He came here to free us and show us the way. He died on a cross and came back to life. So what was he trying to prove? Was he just dying for our sins? Or was he trying to say, hey guys, I'm back. We live forever. You just got to get mentally right. Realize who you are. Realize you're a child of God. Period. Period. The Christ said it. The Old Testament said it, right? Because the devil he lies, but he has to use the truth because the lies only stem from the truth. Oh my, is that mind blowing? Because it just blew my mind. And I know this already. Right? Even the devil has to give you the truth because even though he's a liar, he can't even start off the lie without the truth. So he did give Moses 10 commandments that thou shalt not kill. Right? He told Moses, when Moses asked to see him, oh, you can't see me. You're going to have to stand in the cave in the dark and I'm going to just brush by you in this light. That's not the Father. The Father is nothing physical. The first thing to ever come in this world physical of the Father was Jesus Christ. And the Father came down here at the point of when Jesus was baptized. That's when he got blessed with the Holy Spirit and he started his walk. Up until then, he was just a child of the Father and married. And then he got the Spirit added on and went his walk. And he came with truth like anyone that is talking truth. He did the same things, the same course we took, maybe for us is a little longer, right? His ministry was 3 years. There's some people that don't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get it right away. But I tell you what, in all my journey, even though I didn't get it, I kept seeking it. When I got in trouble for stuff, if I messed up somewhere, I just found, how can I correct this? How can I see where I'm at? What, like anything. Like if I made it hurt somebody's feelings, I want to know why I hurt that person's feelings. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. It doesn't feel good if my feelings got hurt. Right? It's almost like kind of you have to build up a wall, but not really a wall. If that makes sense. Right? It's your life. You're a child of God. Right? You're a child of the Father that created everything. Because you couldn't have been created without him. Right? Everything in everything the Father's in control of. right? But in this physical world, because of his love for us, because he gave us life, he wants us to get it, right? And that's why I feel that more importantly, we were sent here on a mission, because what else will we be here for, right? This realm, the heavens above us that Satan runs, by the way, right? All this stuff in chaos, because that's what the devil's world is just chaos, is a shadow of the light. So the Father had to send light into the world of darkness to show the way. And that's what you are. That's what I am. We're here to expose that light. We're here to reflect that light of the Father to the outside of us. Because everything we seek on the outside only disappoints us, only gets old, only rust, only destroys. Right? Like, the Father is eternal. The Father is within you. Right? If you read the Old Testament and all the religious buildings they were building, it said, this is your mind. This is your mind. This is your mind. Like, we're all chosen people. That's what I'm saying. If you got those ears to hear, you got those eyes to see. And like, what do I mean by that? This is what I mean by that. Let's say in essence you couldn't kill anyone. Right? You would find it hard to pull the trigger. Even on someone you couldn't stand. Even on your worst enemy, you would find it hard to pull the trigger. Or you would have regret after you pulled that trigger. And only you know what I'm talking about. So I'm talking to whoever individually, and I'm talking to everyone individually. Just think about yourself. Right? And if you have compassion like that, if you like watch a commercial and you start getting a little emotional because the kids are in there are starving, right? If you eat a meal and you have a little regret because you know there's somebody out there that's not eating, right? This gives you that Christ likeness. That means you have a compassion inside yourself. That means the Father may be calling you for something. And more importantly, I know he's calling you for something. You just got to realize who you are. Because the only way to really figure out life is by figuring out who you are. Truly who you are. Not what the world wants you to be. Not what your goals told you to be. Not what your parents told you to be. Who you are. And the answers to life is where you are. You can't listen to these outside sources. You can't listen to these things that change. Okay, you can't listen to these people that want to teach evolution, right, in school systems to our children, having them believe that evolution is a true thing when I haven't seen one thing evolve yet, nor do we have anything in our human history of now. Right? I think if you Google or you know some theologians or some or historians or archaeologists, our mankind level right now only goes back 6,000 years plus. Right? That's what we have as far as like books and knowledge and things that come from those eras. Okay? So what does that say? That say that anyone's telling you that something that's 50 million years old, how do they know? We don't even have a 50 million year old book that says anything of the sort. Like to like even date things, you got to know what the weather conditions were, if the sun was out, was it raining? Like there's so much that goes into knowing what the truth could be. It's not a guesstimate. It's not an assumption. And it's not something that changes. Oh, sorry, we were wrong about that. We just figured this out, so this is right now. That doesn't even make sense. I tell you this, in your search, the Father is 100%. The world is all various, is 99.9%. You know why it's 99.99%? Because they leave that 1% out. forever. But the Father is 100%. The Father didn't say, "Oh, I promise," or he didn't give you ifs or what ifs. He gave you straight promises. I promise, if you seek me, you're gonna have my armor on you. You ain't gotta worry about nothing until it's your time in this fleshly body. And then after your fleshly body is done, you're gonna be in paradise. Simple as that. You're on a mission to get through this world. You're on a mission not to give up. You're on a mission to get as hit. You're on a mission to get hit as hard as life can hit you. Because you're gonna fall because life hits hard. We have no control in this world besides our mental states. Everything's still gonna happen the way it happens. You're gonna sit there maybe complaining about, I don't have enough money for this, I don't have enough money for that, I'm gonna get kicked out of my house. If it happens, it was meant to happen. If it doesn't happen, then God comes at the minute. That last minute that you need that. Because that's what you need. You need to depend on him, not the world. So point of this video, I didn't really get into much on scripture and stuff like that. The point is just to realize who you are. The message I'm bringing is that we're here for a reason. We all have a purpose. And the purpose that we all have individually, but within unity, is to know the Father and who he is. That's it. It's as simple as that. To know that there's a creator of everything, the Father of all, not a jealous, vindictive, wrathful God that says he's a jealous God. Because the creator would have nothing to be jealous about. He would just start fresh. What do you think? Now he lost his capabilities? Oh, God made us mankind, so now God can't make more mankind? God couldn't just wipe us out and start fresh? Don't let the Noah story get you all messed up in the head. Don't let the Noah story get you disillusioned or misled to believe that people really had to be saved for the Father to make new people. That's not, nope, definitely not. This was made from nothing. Okay, everything you know, even science says that, right? In their little evolution and Big Bang, it was made from nothing by chance. Only to survive is survive. But yet the old versions of what they said evolved is still here. That makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. So if you want to be blinded and be just focused in on one thing, oh, this is my source, you got to think of where these sources are coming from. Right? Yeah, I may have this Nagamati book, right? And there was a board. So there was an advisory board that put this book together. Right? And I'm pretty sure there's another book of Nagamati scriptures that has a whole different board that chose their book. Right? The point is, the unknown, the nameless Father that created everything already put everything you needed inside of you. Right? Just look at the animals. The animals are born and put into the world with everything they need. Why wouldn't we, that are reflections of the Father, as our flesh is reflections of Satan? Right? Our flesh just wants the lust of the world. Our flesh just wants the power to be above someone else. Our flesh just wants desires and vices, Cheetos, Cheez-Its, Now-A-Laters, Jolly Ranchers, orange juice, rum, beer, whatever. Right? That's what our flesh just desires fleshly things that have nothing to do with life. Even if you're trying, like, in a sense, like, you know, you're into this third eye and you want to open your third eye, it's not a drug way you have to go. You go that drug way, you're taking a physical way to where you think you need to go. And that's just going to mess you up more. Right? You're going to get some glimpses of truth. but it's not going to be the truth you're looking for. You got to do this stuff in a natural way. It's almost like taking a shortcut. And within that shortcut, yeah, it could be successful, but it's 1 out of 10 people that are successful in that shortcut. Right? You could be stuck into a mind state that could just lose you for life until your next go round. If you're really seeking truth, you got to seek it beyond where you already are in life, because I'm telling you, it's beyond that. Right? There's only a couple. Go out and figure out all the major religions in the world. By the way, there's like 4,800 different religions in the world. I looked that up today. Or maybe 4,300. It's in the 4,000 mark. It's either 43 or 4,800 people or 100 different religions. Okay? Christianity alone has 40,000 different divisions of Christianity that all think they're right and that they think everyone else is wrong. How many preachers you know talking trash about Joel Osteen or Creflo Dollar or anyone? That's not Jesus. That's not Christ. That's not living the way, the truth, and the life. That's another thing about being called a Christian. A Christian was almost like an insult. They were making fun of people when they called them Christians. And the ironic thing is, the first people that followed Jesus, like Peter, John, James, they were called followers of Jesus or followers of the way. They wasn't called Christians. Christian wasn't spoken of until Antioch. Okay? Think about that. Just like I said, there's going to be a Jesus coming from the clouds, but it ain't going to be the one you think or you assumed or whoever perceived him to be that. That's not going to be the Christ. That's not going to be the one that said he's inside of you. It's not going to be that one. The Father said he's inside of you. Right? If you really look at the Old Testament close and some of the prophet stories, you'll see that God talked to the prophets in their mind. No one else heard it but them, in their mind. Because that's where the Father is. The Father is inside of you. He is not represented at all in this physical world besides what's inside of you. Jesus says, those that belong to me will hear my voice. Not read my handwriting. Not read my words. And look, anybody that you know that is preaching truth, ask them this question. Do they hear the truth they read? Or do they just read the truth they read? Because they hear a voice. When you read and you got those ears to hear, you hear a voice. You hear a voice. All right? Keep in mind this. There's a story of who you truly are. And that's called, in the New Testament, is the prodigal son story. In the Nag Hammadi, it's the same. I'm going to find out what scripture it's in, and I'm going to bring that in my next video. Because I'm going to do another Nag Hammadi scripture video in my next video. But look into the prodigal son story. Jesus said it as a parable. The Nag Hammadi text has it as Jesus said in a parable, a little deeper on the whole parable. But the point is this. The prodigal son parable is about a son that thought he had a better way in life than what his father had for him. And his father loved him. His father wasn't like a tyrant or anything. His father loved him. But the son thought he had his own way, like we all have done growing up with our own parents. Okay? We move in a rebellious direction. Right? As we all do to the Father that created everything. We do the same thing. We walk away from him like a prodigal son, saying we got our own plan, our own goal, and we're going to make it happen. Our way. And the Father's like, listen, I have a way for you. Okay? And out of all my love, I promise you, I'll be here. But you know what? If you think you know your way, then go. Then go. Right? And in the journey of that son, he ended up getting so down on his luck that he became a servant in another man's house. And he was sleeping with the pigs. in the pig pen. And he came to a revelation one day. He said, you know what? If I go back to my dad's house, he treated his servants pretty damn good. At least I'll be one of them. So I'm going to go back and beg him to take me back as his servant. And when his father saw him coming, he ran to him. And in their tradition, they didn't run. Okay? So his father, seeing him in the distance, ran to him. The first thing, the son's about to apologize and beg for mercy, and his father just grabs a hold of him with such a tight embrace, just love. And that's how God is looking. The Father, the creator of everything, is looking at every last one of us. Looking in the distance, waiting for us to come home. Because that's where we belong. And you're a product of that creator. You're a product of that Father. He gave you the life that you walk with, the life that you touch with, the life that you remember, the life that you love with, the life you make friendships and bonds with. And he just wants you to realize that all of us are in the same journey. There are no differences between us besides what's in this physical world. And even in the physical world, we all bleed red. Science just came out and said that we are 99.9% the same. Like, if you don't believe that, that's your science. Google it, because that's what they came up with. Point is, you're very special. You need to figure out how very special you are. And you're very special in a contributing factor also. Like, you contribute to happiness. You take your love, you take your happiness, and you contribute that into the world. Especially if you're the type of person that's like the life of the party, you can contribute that life of the party status and bring happiness and joy. Bring wisdom and truth. Bring love instead of hate. Bring unity instead of division. Because that's who you are. Right? In your best moments, in your best situations where you were hosting or you were at a party or you were at a family function and you brought the love, and that love was like just so reflective of the whole night. That's who you are. Or nights that you get so sassy and attitudish that the whole night is ruined. If you're the type of person that just brings the drama when you're out with your friends and that the night's over with that you can bring the life of that party. Obviously, you're being a drain on that circle of friends. You could be the life of that circle of friends, because if they love you that much to go down with you, go out with you when this is like your 18th time doing it, come on. That's what love is. That's unity. That's love. But which direction is it going to go? Right? Like I said, good trumps evil. But this world got us believing that we're doing good when we're really doing evil. Right? When you're flipping houses, you're a part of that evil system. You're part of taking someone's disadvantage and making profit. And that's like a basic, and like you may know, oh, that's not really. Yes, it is. To flip a house, you have to get a house cheaper than what you're going to sell it for. You're not going to buy a house for $250,000 and sell it for $260,000. And if the market in that area where you're trying to buy the house, and that's the market, then where are you going? You're going to buy that $100,000 house that was foreclosed on, that the people misfortune or something, and they don't live there no more. That's the house you're looking for to flip, to make the $250, so you make a profit off of it. It ain't like you're buying houses to give to the homeless. It ain't like you're making rooms in your house, Mr. Christian or Mr. Catholic or Mrs. Christian or Mrs. Catholic. Right? That's what your Bible says. Take care of the poor. Is that what you're doing? Think about that. This is a thinking video. Conversations, it's a conversation between me and whoever's listening. My kids, my mama, my brothers, my sisters, whoever. To start looking at your life a little differently. Really looking into who you are. And take my word for it, you are more than what you think you are. And if you're like, oh, I'm so smart and I got to math, you ain't did nothing yet. And I'm not judging you. I'm just being honest. There's some scriptures that say, hey, once you feel as though your cup is filled, that means you're done. If that's how you feel, it's better to fill your cup up, empty it out, and fill it up again. And just keep emptying it out, filling it right back up. Because you can't let nothing stagger, right? What happens to still water? There's a lot of algae and stuff, right? It doesn't move, it smells, mosquitoes come. That's still water. Right? You want to keep your knowledge and wisdom growing because that's what happens. It grows. You'll never know the truth. Like you'll never really know the truth about outer space unless you go to outer space. They make kaleidoscopes, right? When you look in a kaleidoscope, there's all types of stuff. Why you don't think they can make something else to make you think you're looking at something else? Some things just don't make sense, but you don't question it because you were taught not to question it. Right? If you're a problem child, if you're a kid in the class, they're going to say you got ADHD or something, that they got to give you some medication to zombie you out so you can sit in the chair while your teacher's talking. Because they're not trying to teach people no more in society. They're just trying to program you to go on with the status quo, the standard operating procedures in all of life. But you know what? The truth will set you free. Love, peace, and freedom. Hopefully you really sat back and really watched this video. I'm working on learning some stuff. I really don't want to. I like live stuff and just doing these videos no matter what the error. I don't like editing. I don't even know how to edit. So definitely ain't editing yet. But I did change my little page thing, my little picture. I got the hookup. So I love you, everyone out there. I love you. If you're my kids watching, I love you greatly. My family, my friends, I love you. If you're my enemies, I love you. I'm not going to single anybody out in this love shout out. You just say I love everyone. Collectively. One mind. One body. One focus. And that's the Father. We'll have no worries. No stress. No sickness. Only happiness. You'll be dancing around. If you watch a Kingdom of Truth video, he's always dancing and stuff. He's always talking about the daddy. Watch him. He'll inspire you. Okay? I'm not really a mover. I'm more of a rapper or a singer, sort of music type of demonstration of poetry. Something. That's what I do. But I still try to bring the spirit. Right? I bring it. And I'm bringing you the truth. And the truth is, you are more than what you think you are. Peace, love, and freedom. Love you always and every day. Oh, thank you, Tiger Nips. I love you. I love you guys. Seriously, I have nothing to gain or lose from making these videos. Right? I'm not looking to gain. And if I have to lose, I would rather lose so that someone else could win. Right? Because sometimes when you win, you really lose. And sometimes when you lose, you really win. But the best thing in life is just to tie. Sometimes you just need to tie. Because it doesn't really matter who wins or loses, as long as it was a good game. That's key. Right? Stop getting caught up with celebrities and sports teams and having arguments and just exhausting your resources over dumb stuff that makes no sense It adds no value to your life, right? For you to fight over your favorite football team with a rival team, that people ain't paying you. Those players are making millions of dollars. You're making $0. Zero. Look, that was almost like a Mason song. You're only making $0. $0. And you're sitting there fighting in a bar for what? Getting a black eye for what? Maybe even losing your life for what? I had a friend, Marine friend, didn't even get the fight. Tripped, hit his head on the bar over something stupid. Come on. Know you're better than that. Know you're special. I can't emphasize that enough. That's my message the Father is bringing for whoever watches these videos, for whoever talks to me in life, that you're special. You are the key. We're all the key. Each individual one of us is the key, but we're keys that have to work together. We're one mind, one body. Love, peace, and freedom.